My first question to you is, how did your career begin as a writer? Where did it all begin for you?
Where my career as a writer started, it was about 13, 14 years ago. And it's really a hobby. But I had traveled throughout the world, Trey. I've been on all 5 continents to about 40 different countries. And I don't know, I just suddenly thought, I really want to put all of these experiences down on paper, all these different cultures, people from all over the world, all with different ways of living. And I wanted to put it down, and that's how it started. I just suddenly got the inspiration one day, and I went straight to the computer and sat down and started outlining the book. So it wasn't anything that was really planned, it just happened.
Absolutely. It happened for a reason, and you're still doing it.
Well, yes, and now, of course, I'm writing more fiction. As I wrote about the travels, I discovered a joy of writing, and so now I'm just writing more books, and they're just fiction. They're fun, easy read books, but I get a lot of fun writing them, and if people derive joy from reading them, that's icing on the cake.
Definitely. And you don't write for yourself, you write for others, and, the readers, the fans, they make you, you have to work,
Yes, they give you the feedback. They tell you what they like and what they don't like, and that's kind of nice. It's nice that they get so into the books and they can relate to the characters and things of that nature. It makes it more fun, more worthwhile.
Absolutely. You've written a few books. You've written The Chapel of Love, Return the Chapel of Love, the Murder of on the Queen Elizabeth II, Discreetly Yours. What do you write more? Do you write more fiction or nonfiction? What do you focus on?
No, it's all fiction now. I write all fiction, and it's mainly women's fiction, although a lot of men do read the books and enjoy them, but I was encouraged to write for women, and the first book that I actually got published was, yes, The Chapel of Eternal Love. It's about a fictional Las Vegas wedding chapel, and I thought I'll write a book on that subject, we're the marriage capital of the world here in Las Vegas, where I live, and why do couples come and get married here? What's their story? So that's what prompted The Chapel of Eternal Love, and Return to the Chapel of Eternal Love as a sequel, and that was in response to readers' requests. They wanted to know what happened to all the people in the first book. Even though they're fiction, they want to know how their lives turned out. So that's what prompted the Return to the Chapel of Eternal Love. It's a sequel.
Definitely. It's amazing how the readers get so into it. They immerse themselves in the world of the book.
Trey, you're absolutely right, and that really was a surprise to me that people wanted to know what happened to the couples after they left the chapel, because I thought, the story is really, why did they come to the chapel? It never occurred to me in my wildest dreams that people would want to know what happened to these fictional people after they left the altar. They're not real people. But as I said earlier, readers tell you what they want to read about, and as you well know, they get absorbed in the characters, they relate, and they come to care about them. And it's all rather nice and rather flattering that people got so into the characters.
Definitely. Are you working on a new book as we speak, or do you have any upcoming projects?
Yes, I am working on a book, Trey. I'm sorry to say it's taken me a long time to get this one off the ground. But, with COVID, and last year I did a lot of caregiving for an elderly gentleman that took a fair amount of time. But I'm writing a nice little Christmas book it's going easy, warm, fuzzy book. It'll be like, watching one of these Hallmark movies on Hallmark TV. It's just going to be warm and fuzzy. And again, an easy read. All the books are very easy reads, and there's no graphic violence in any of them, or there's no graphic sex or anything like that. They're just fun, pleasant, warm, uplifting reads. Even the murder mystery, it's a fun, easy read.
Absolutely, plain and simple. There's nothing wrong with simple,
No, you're right on the money there. Keep it simple,
Absolutely. My next question is, what do you find is the most challenging or the most difficult part being a writer?
Believe it or not, actually writing for women, it's very challenging, and writing female characters is very challenging for me, to try and get inside the minds of some of the female characters that I write for is an enormous challenge. I'm blessed because I'm in a critique group trade with some other ladies, and we take along our work and we share it with each other, and they help me out enormously. They say, a woman wouldn't say this, or she doesn't think like that, and I have to go back to the drawing board, and they help. But that, I would say, is the most challenging part, writing the female characters for the book.
Yeah, definitely. I find writing, because I've done a few written works myself. I mostly do screenplays for theater and short films, and I'm also a theater actor, and writing the characters is similar to acting, because in both scenarios you have to get into the mind of the character. What would you do?
Yes.
What would the character do? It's very interesting.
It is interesting, Trey, and yes, you definitely get it if you're doing screenplays, because the characters have got to be much more developed there and have their own personalities. But I do think it's just a fact of life that men and women do process thoughts differently, and I don't know, but I would suspect for you it's probably easier to write for the male characters in your plays than it is for you to write the female ones. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and like you said, everyone has a different thought process of doing it, and that's what makes the world interesting. Nobody's thoughts or thoughts of writing or scenarios is the same. It's all different.
Yes, it is.
Definitely. Besides writing, do you have any other hobbies or any other careers you're in?
Well, my entire career, Trey, has been in the computer software industry, and I've had my own business now. It's a partnership for the last 39 years, believe it or not, and we're just beginning to wind it down now. Because, I'm at retirement time and I want to spend more time doing the things I like writing. I do like traveling a lot. I like to travel extensively to a lot of foreign countries. I like to travel in the United States as well. Our own country is amazing. There's such amazing scenery. And I like the theatre. I love going to live plays. You can't beat live theatre, I don't think. It's just a fabulous way to spend an evening, and just seeing the performances live on stage, you can really be a part of it. So I love theatre and musical concerts. I love going to musical concerts as well.
Absolutely, and it sounds like you're having fun. It keeps you busy, but you're having fun doing what you enjoy, and that's the main thing in life. You have to enjoy what you're doing.
Absolutely, that is so true, Trey. It is so true. It's so important to enjoy, especially your career, your work. I just hear too many people that just don't like their jobs, and they complain about them all the time. They stick it's a shame because it's where you spend so much of your every day at your job. It's so important that you're happy doing it.
Definitely.
It reflects in your work product too. You know, I think if you enjoy what you're doing, your output, I think, is much better. I think it's reflected, your attitude's reflected in the product you're producing, I believe.
Definitely. If you're not enjoying what you do, it's just not fun. And also, I was raised by this. If you're having fun with a career or a job, if you're having fun, it's not really work. You know, you're living it, you know.
Yes, and you know, having your own business, it certainly has its pluses and minuses. You're kind of locked into certain things, but it does give you a certain amount of freedom too to dictate your own environment in which you want to work. You know, you can create your own scenario and your own little office and what have you, and it can make a world of difference too.
Absolutely. And where can people find your books? You have some websites. You have authorstephenmurray.com, thechapelofeternallove.com, Murder Aboard the GE2.com, discreetlyyours.net, and authorsden.com/Stephen Murray. And all your books can be found there, right?
Yes, it's Murder Aboard the QE2, not GE2, it's QE2 for Queen Elizabeth II. But if they actually go to authorstephenmurray.com, that tells me, the reader, more about myself as the author, but it does have links to all the other websites as to where people can go and buy the books. They can see any upcoming events. I might have reviews on the books, both professional and just, you know, layman reader reviews. They're all out there for everybody to see and to read. So yes, I have. There's quite a lot of website information out there, that's for sure.
Definitely. Can your books also be found on Amazon?
Yes, they can, and they can be ordered in any bookstore too, Trey. They can walk into Barnes & Noble or any bookstore. They're distributed through Ingram Spark, and so anybody can walk in. If Barnes & Noble don't have it in their actual shop, they can certainly go on. Barnes & Noble certainly go and order it for the individual reader.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just started reading one of your books, The Chapel of Eternal Love. It's, like you said, it's an easy read. It's very interesting, you know.
Yeah, well, you know, there's all kinds of love, and people fall in love for very different reasons. So I wanted to try and make the stories viewing love from different angles and different perspectives, because, you know, there literally is it. It's not a one-size-fits-all emotion. Love means different things to different people. And it was fun to write it. It was challenging, but it was very much a fun write.
Absolutely. Let's talk about some of your travels. You've traveled all over the world, all 5 continents, all different countries. Do you have a favorite place you've traveled?
Well, I grew up in southern Africa. I was born in England, but I was raised in different countries in the southern part of Africa, the southern countries there. Then I went back to live in England and travel all throughout Europe. And since I've been in America, I've been able to travel further. I think probably the most unique experience, Trey, was traveling to Bhutan, up in the Himalayas, just north of India, the northeast corner of India. Very beautiful country, beautiful scenery, and the people, it's mainly a Buddhist country. They are so very warm and friendly and helpful. They are so kind and so gentle. They're very gentle people. And it was just a very unique